I do not want to take care of my mom.
Hey people, how you are doing today? Check out Destiny here and welcome back to my channel. How you are doing? Hope you guys are doing great. So today's video is a video of a black man who came on the internet to talk about how he does not want to take care of his mother, how he's not his responsibility to take care of his mother, and he went on to talk about how the dynamic of taking care of the parents, that ideology that has been sold to people, especially the black community, has kept poverty in the black community. This has gotten a lot of people talking, and I personally, I feel like this is a very important conversation. We already have a video where we're talking about how not taking care of the grandmom, but now it's actually the mom. And this young man went ahead to really break down why he feels this way, and then a content creator decided to react to this and also give a flip side to this conversation. So this is why I find this conversation very interesting.
I do not want to take care of my mom. A lot of us young entrepreneurs that grew up in poverty, didn't come from shit, have this idea that when we get on, we taking care of everybody. Mama, daddy, granny, brothers, whole family, right? The problem is most of our families were actually poor due to that was actually in their control. Poor money management, lack of discipline, inability to create healthy boundaries, no valuable skill set, or just other bad decisions that they never spoke about. So even though it's honorable, it's noble to want to take care of our people, it's just a Band-Aid solution that's going to make your people dependent on you. You really want to be the big dog amongst your people? Give them the tools that you use to produce results. Give them the game, give them the knowledge, give them the mindset to create for themselves. That way, when it's time to eat, it's a potluck, not just eating off your plate. You feel me?
You see what I'm saying? So now these black men out here talking about they don't even want to take care of their mothers. That was the whole big thing. Everybody wanted to take care of mama. Everybody wanted to buy mama a house. And now the new thing is not taking care of your mother. So the hate for women is spreading from the ground up. First they started talking about you. Now they're talking about their mamas. Next, they're going to be talking about their daughters. It's just this round and round hatred. He's talking about give them the tools. Son, your mother's old now. What are you talking about? Give her the tools so your mother's going to be out there, what, hustling? Talking about bad decisions. One of those bad decisions may have been giving birth to you. That may have been a bad decision right there. That may have been one of her bad decisions. I don't understand this and I don't get it and I don't understand where they're coming from with this. So now they're like, oh, we ain't taking care of mama. So you're going to just be living this ritzy life and being like, well, I tried to put her on, but mama says she ain't want to learn how to do cryptocurrency trading. I realized in helping to raise a baby that there's no child who makes it through adulthood without somebody caring about that child and intensely looking after that child and protecting that child. No child makes it, not one. He didn't get to adulthood on his own. He didn't get out of infancy without somebody being there to care for him. But then when all is said and done, now look at him. Now he's like, he don't want to take care of his mama because she made bad decisions.
Get on. We taking care of everybody. Mama, daddy, granny, brothers.
Yeah, okay. Now, I could understand why you don't want to take care of friends and people who wasn't there, but your mother, if your mother was there, you mean to tell me that you some big time entrepreneur and you can't get your mother a house, even if it's a small house, that you can't make sure that your mother doesn't have to be worried about rent? Blaming the one who was in the fight with you. Now this is the new kick. Watch, this trend is taking off and I'm disgusted and horrified.
So let me know your thoughts about this video down in the comment section. Love to know what you think about this. Do you agree with the young man or do you agree with the content creator that stitched that video? Go ahead and share your thoughts down in the comment section. A lot of people have a lot to say, so and I know you have a lot to say, so go share your thoughts down in the comment section.
I do not want to take care of my mom. A lot of us young entrepreneurs that grew up in poverty.
Everybody, I'm not speaking for everyone. I'm just speaking for my particular case. My mother was amazing. She did everything you would imagine a mother should do. She read to me at night. She took care of all the scrapes. She got presents, even though we didn't have money for them. She made a little bit of stuff feel like a lot of stuff. We never wanted anything. We were never envious. My mom did the best she possibly could. And now that I am in a position that I can show a little bit of appreciation to her, if that means helping her pay a bill every now and then, buying her a present, I'm gonna do it. No, I don't feel responsible for my mother, but I am so thankful that my mom helped me become who I am today, that if helping her with a bill or getting her a present just shows a fraction of how I feel about my mother, then that's just too easy. I understand we all don't have that story, but I just felt that someone needed to say that. You guys have a beautiful day.
I do not want to take care of my mom. A lot of us young entrepreneurs that grew up in poverty.
Good evening, people. When you get a minute, check out this King's video. What he was saying was he's not taking care of his mother. And what this other lady was saying was she trying to flip it to make it seem like, oh, here we go, another black male bashing black women. Now he don't want to take care of his mama. No, what he was saying was a lot of us in the black community, we think it's a flex to be able to say, oh, I take care of my mom. But what he was saying is that a lot of times when we put ourselves in that position of taking care of our mother, it backfires on us. You know, it gets in the way of our goals. It gets in the way of achieving our dreams. You know what I'm saying? Then it leaves that mother to feel entitled because you're really not helping her. You're enabling her. And it's not fair to you. It's not fair to you and your family to take on this responsibility that is not yours. You know what I'm saying? Your mother raised you, hopefully, for 18 years. My mother, she played, but I'm speaking personally. My mother, 18 years, she did what she had to do, whatever, but she was playing games with me since I was 17, putting me in, out the house, you know, and everything I achieved on my own. But then once I achieved my goal of becoming a nurse and having a little bit more income than what I had previously as a housekeeper, I thought, you know, I'm going to help my mom out. I'm going to help her position her life better, but that's not what she wanted. And that's what I learned. You cannot give somebody what they don't want out their own life. You cannot make their dreams bigger than what they want. You cannot. You got to let them play the hand they dealt themselves, man. This is their journey as well as it's yours.
I do not want to take care of my mom.
So I'm going to turn the 10-minute feature on for this one because I'm about to trigger a lot of y'all. So the reality is your child don't owe you nothing. If your child becomes successful and out the kindness of their heart, they want to do nice gestures for you, that's fine. But they don't owe you nothing. Let me take you back to a video I made a while back where I spoke on having babies while you struggling, while you in poverty, while you broke. One day those children will grow up. And God forbid you have a child that's a free thinker. A child who will think back on the life that they lived, the struggles that they went through, all because of your doing. All because you decided to lay up and have unprotected and be irresponsible and negligent and then get pregnant and have a baby and cause that baby to have to suffer along with you. For some reason, y'all pretend as if these children will never grow up and have a mind of their own and remember what you put them through. Heavy on the what you put them through. Because a lot of y'all act like y'all on this high moral ground of being against terminating pregnancies because of your religion. But that's the only thing you pick and choose throughout the Bible to be religious of. But that's a whole nother topic. But y'all act as if you so good of, you know, a person by keeping the child. Yet once that child get here, they get abused, they struggle, and their life is hell, right? And then all of a sudden, once they make it through that struggle, once they make it through all of those hurdles that you helped put in their way, and they become successful, you got the audacity to think they owe you something. And then, you know, here y'all will come with y'all little sob stories of, well, you know, I was just doing the best I could. The best you could have did was you being out here protecting yourself and making sure you didn't get pregnant, knowing that you ain't have a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out of, right? But you was out here having the time of your life at that time, right? Out here raw dogging, sleeping with everybody, hot girl this, hot girl that. But then when your child grow up and realize that they mama was an irresponsible person who was out here living recklessly and had them and made them have to struggle along with them, and then somehow now fix her mouth to think that the child owed him something? Please. Then I want to get into the part where he discussed it being a band-aid when you take care of people, which is true. A lot of times when you become successful and then you're in a place where you can put money in people's pocket, they become dependent on you. You know how many people won the lottery and lost everything behind family and friends thinking that this person is their personal bank? A lot of people are not responsible or financially literate when it comes to money. So just giving them money, it is absolutely putting a band-aid on the situation. It's not helping it. It's just helping them to come back to you for more when they run out. Some of y'all really need to go back to the drawing board on what is the reason why you really want kids. Because if it's the retirement plan, if it's to somebody to be your caregiver when you get older, if it's for somebody to be able to house you and feed you, you need to go back to the drawing board, because it's none of those things that's to the reason why you should be giving birth to a child. I'm going to leave y'all with this. When I was younger, the thought of my mama and my daddy ever being children never crossed my mind. That's how much of adults they were to me. That's how much of business they handled, right? That in my mind, I could never fathom that they were ever kids like me. Like, and I remember telling to my mom, I was like, when she would show me pictures of her when she was young, I would be like, in my mind, I never thought about you ever being a child, you ever being young, because you have such an old soul. Like, y'all have always made stuff happen, right? From the time I was born, I ain't never had to wonder about housing, food, going places, having the stuff that I wanted. Y'all always make sure I had everything that I needed, right? And more, right? So your child will evaluate the situation that you put them in. They will think back on the things that you did, the positions you had them in. And, you know, if they're a child who has unconditional love, then guess what? They might be able to overlook a lot of the foul stuff and positions you put them in. But if they're a very realistic child, very free thinking, they will sit and wonder, why would you do that? If you knew that you was in an abusive relationship before getting pregnant, why would you go through having a baby by the man who already been putting his hands on you? Right? If you already been house to house struggling, can't figure out when you gonna have your next meal, what in your right mind would make you think that bringing a child along to have to deal with that would be a good idea? Your child will eventually sit up and wonder these things, right? Children sit up and do it all the time, right? They sit up and they calculate ages to figure out how old their mama was when they had them. Eventually, they will want to put 2 and 2 together as to how they got to where they at, right? While they somewhere struggling, they will try to figure out, how did we get here? Who made this decision for us to be in this terrible position? Oh, it was my mama, right? And somehow this same woman who made these poor decisions to make my life a living hell is the same one fixing her mouth to say that I owe her and need to buy her a house, buy her a car, and do all of these things that she couldn't even give me as a child.
I do not want to take care of my mom.
Well, that was interesting. I think that both parties in that video had some points, but let me explain real quick. I'm going to try to do this in like 3 minutes. So in that particular video, on the one side, from the gentleman's side, in the community, especially in the black community, there's a tendency to give people the fish and not teach them how to fish. So there's definitely that. From the other young lady's side of point of view, the hostilities between the brothers and the sisters, that's been going on for quite some time now. And at some point, we're going to have to turn that off. However, that particular gentleman looks like he's in his 20s. You have to understand something. The different generation of men that are out here today coincides with the different generation of women that are out here today. So what am I saying? I'm saying that as a 70s baby, our grandmothers and mothers that were born in the 50s and 60s had a different type of work ethic, had a different type of value. So someone who's in their 20s now, their parents was mostly likely born in the 80s and 90s. And we know all about what has gone on in the community, the value shift and all that kind of stuff. So that plays a role. Now, don't get me wrong. If you from the hood, you take care of mom no matter what. Whether she was a crackhead, whether she was a CEO, a housewife, a widow, you take care of mom, right? But I think what someone is saying, if you came up in a toxic household where you had an abusive relationship with your mother or your parents or siblings, yeah, that would affect you if you're the only sibling or the only child who did something with their life. So I think that as a community, if we start putting the value of life skills, great choices, back in the household, then when someone does get on, it's not a matter of, hey, you know, can I really trust this person? It's like, yo, you're trying, you're doing what you're supposed to do. So yeah, I'll help you out. But then on the other side too, I do think that there is, unfortunately, a lot of psychological damage where once you get on, quote unquote, get on or be successful, you don't want to actually give back to no one else because that road to get to where you is, everybody's been taken from you. Whether it's leeching or straight out trying to take from you. Unfortunately, in our community, we have too many instances where people who have tried to help people have been burnt, like on purpose. So we got to fix that as well.
I do not want to take care of my mom.
Go back and watch the full video for context. I don't think this is about hatred. To be honest with you, this is about a miseducation, and this is about the dysfunction that is thriving in our communities, okay? We don't have cultural context of family and family structure and why we should be helping one another or why we should be taking care of our parents. What's happened is that with the younger generations, and by the way, I'm part of Gen X, my parents were the baby boomers generation, okay? What's happened with the younger folks is that they're like, okay, they're making all of this money. You know, we got the technology craze going on. Everybody's making their money and they're thinking that they're just supposed to focus on themselves. They're not even thinking about like what's going to happen to them and who's going to take care of them when they get older, because they're just thinking about the moment. They're not taking into consideration the full cycle of life. And aside from that, they don't see how or why it's important to take care of the parents. They don't know the spiritual ramifications around it. Like they literally don't understand what life is really about. If you travel the world, you will see that in many, many, many communities, pick a country, you will see that they take care of their parents. You're never supposed to leave your parents like, broke and struggling and going through whatever. You know what I mean? Now, if it's a situation where it was abuse involved, then there's usually like another family member or somebody else that looks out. But everybody is really supposed to contribute to this, you know? Now, aside from all of that, if you just think about the times and the things that your parents went through, right? And then go back to the next generation and think about what that generation went through. Because for each generation that you go back, there was something more intense, more traumatizing that our people had to deal with. And they had to find a way to survive. They had to find a way to keep moving. You understand? Even now, like my generation, we have never seen like what the millennials and everybody else has the opportunity to achieve. Not at this moment. And even I find myself like struggling sometimes to keep up with the changes that are happening with technology. But that doesn't mean that you're supposed to look down on your parents because they can't keep up with the changes, baby. You would not be here if it wasn't for your parents. Do you realize that the rest of the world is talking about us right now because they know that we'll put our parents in homes or we'll leave them hanging and we won't take care of them? Think about that for a moment. Change.
I do not want to take care of my mom. A lot of us young entrepreneurs that grew up in poverty.
I want to speak on this real quick because I've had clients and family members who have had this discussion so many times. Your children do not owe you anything. It is a blessing if you have children or, your grandchildren who want to be there to take care of you. But y'all be having the expectation that everybody has to take care of their family as if their family is worth taking care of because you don't know what these people have been going through. Y'all be so heavy on your mother did everything, your father did everything, and we appreciate them for doing that. However, that doesn't mean that you owe them anything. It was still their decision to lay down and have you. It was still their decision to keep you. It was still their decision to take care of you and give you the life that they chose to give you. However, you don't do that. You don't create a life and expect them to turn around and, you need to take care of me. And that's a lot of problems with a lot of these people and how y'all thinking. I gave my child life. My child doesn't owe me anything. I chose her. She didn't choose.
Please feel free free to share your thought down in the comment section, because that's what we do here. We have good conversation. So go ahead and share your thought down in the comment section. But please, please, please do it respectfully. You don't have to be rude or disrespectful for you to air your point and your opinion. Okay, we're a family here and we have good conversation and we're allowed to disagree. Okay? I totally agree with the young man, and I don't think this is a black man thing the way the other content creator Tony was trying to make it seem. I don't think it's a black man thing. I feel like it's a collective of certain people that has actually sat down and think about this, because I personally, I feel that way too. And I feel my notion came from my own dad, because growing up, my dad always says this thing that I don't want my children, that is one of his prayer in life, that I don't want my children to take care of me. And when I have this conversation with people and I say that, people are like, oh, your dad is weird. But eventually he is able to do that. My dad had so many kids and not even one of the kids is taking care of him, because he has made provision for his old age and he's taking care of himself, both financially, mentally, and even every other thing. He's taking care of himself. All we have to do is to check up on him, call him and all that. That is all we have to do. Even up to the extent that even when you buy him gifts, he seems like you don't have to spend your money. So I personally, I totally agree with this. And this is because I have firsthand seen that not taking care, like it's possible for a parent to grow and raise a child, for a child not to take care of them, for the child to go live their life and flourish. And this is where, especially in our community, I'm going to talk about black people in Africa. I'm going to say Africans, because this is a thing in Africa. And let me know down in the comment section if this is a thing, because I can see that this is also like a thing in the black community. So yeah, in Africa, children, it's your right as a parent for your children to take care of you. And if your children don't take care of you, they will come up with a whole lot of emotional blackmail to tell you that, oh, they sent you to school. For the ones that sent their children to school, I raised you, I sold my last wrapper to feed you, now you refuse to take care of me. And also I feel like this has made a lot of African parents very, very complacent. Now, I'm not saying all, a lot of African parents very complacent, to feel like they don't prepare for their old age, they don't lay down things for their old age. So okay, this is how I want my life to look like they don't take their old age or when they are getting elderly into their hands. It's okay, this is the type of life I want to live when I am old and I can't walk again. They don't take it into account, and I feel like that's why they don't plan, and then I feel like that's why some of them don't work as hard as they should work, because they'll just feel like all I need to do is to give birth to more children, and if this one doesn't take care of me, this one will take care of me. Like using the children more like a gamble, like one of them eventually will take care of me in my old age, rather than them spending that time to grow their world, grow their mentality, like even show love to these children. Like, these children grow up with that obligation weighing upon them, that they feel like every 1 naira they make, they have to give their mother, especially their mother, 50 naira. Every $1 they make, I'm going to use the dollar equivalent, every $1 they make, they have to give their mother 50 cents. Rather than using that 1 naira a whole to develop their life and look, okay, let me use that as savings to pay for a skill I need to learn, or for a business, or for investment. This child is the investment, is his mom, the investment is his parent. And I feel like as people, we need to start having this type of conversation, which I enjoy having. And this is why I bring this type of video, because I feel like we need to start having this type of conversation so that people can realize, especially our parents, that we didn't ask to be here as a child, but now that we're here, we are not your responsibility. You are the parent. So lay that path. And I feel like this thing now goes in circle, where even the children now that is taking care of their parents now feel like all they need to do is to give birth to children, and their own children will have to take care of them, rather than them trying to secure their life and build the life they want for themselves, including when they are young and when they are old. So I totally agree with the brother that parents should start thinking of, oh, okay, I need to start looking out for myself. I need to plan for myself. And I feel like when you have that idea and say, you know what, I have to take care of myself, I have to provide for myself, I feel like it will actually change a lot of ideology, even the way people give birth to children, because a lot of people give birth to children as a retirement plan. And I feel like when they know that these children, they are not going to be the retirement plan. I feel like it will change the notion and the narrative of how they procreate. And also, I liked what the brother also said about how people depend on you when you just give people, especially in our community, especially in Africa. In Africa, this happens a lot. Some people just wait for a handout, like just give them. Why don't you teach them what to do on how to grow their wealth and what to do so that they can work out? And I feel like this has made some people very, very complacent. And this happened a lot in Nigeria, where let's say they have one family members abroad and that one family member send money home. You will see some of their siblings and even some of their relatives will refuse to even work, and all they want to do is to rely on that relative that is sending money. So me personally, I my family know, like, the most important person in my life, I'm going to take care of myself. Nobody's going to emotionally blackmail me to say, oh, you have to help. I will help because I want to, not because it's an obligation to. And I feel like this is where it's mixed. People in our culture here in Africa, especially in Nigeria, I'm going to speak for Nigeria, is that it's an obligation. They'll tell you, you are the senior sister, you are the senior brother, you have to, it's you that have money, so you have to take care of. They always play, it's always an emotional blackmail. Like, you have to take care of the other. So I feel like people just need to start putting their foot down and letting people, like, when you lay your bed in life, the bed you lay in life, that is how you're going to definitely sleep on it. If you don't go out there and hustle and provide for yourself, nobody will. Nobody, in fact, I feel like nobody is responsible for anybody. Nobody. And the people start thinking that, you know what, I have to provide for myself and stop waiting for a handout. You as the giver, you as the enabler need to start breaking that cycle of giving so that you can break that enabling spirit of people depending on you. I don't know if I'm making sense. I know I'm just blabbing in this video, but hey, that's my own thoughts on this. And yeah, please go ahead and share your thoughts about this video down in the comment section. Love to know what you think about this discussion, because I feel like it's a lengthy conversation. So please go ahead and share your thoughts down in the comment section. Share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation, because hey, that's what we do here. We have conversations. So go ahead and share your thoughts down in the comment section. Please give this video a thumbs up, smash this like button if you like this type of video where we have conversation. You don't have to agree with everything I said or everything everybody said. But if you like this type of conversation, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't subscribed, because that helps YouTube to push out my content. When you like and leave a comment and subscribe, that helps YouTube to push out my content to more people. So please comment, like, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. With that all said, guys, I will see you guys in my next video. Deuces.